The government shut down. They ain't giving nobody no money. Where the church is at? Where the church is at? Y'all better show up. At least feed your community. You got people probably still showing up giving you money. Give it back.
You pastors that preach tithes and offering to y'all church as a commandment to the church, bring the tithes into the storehouse that there might be meat in my house. Y'all on deck right now. The government shut down. It's time to go into the storehouse. All of my life, I heard about these storehouses that the people give into. But now we're in a time to go into the storehouse and help God's people. It's time for the church to have faith and help the ones who've been faithful to their churches. No, Pastor, it ain't time to send them to crisis. It ain't time to send them downtown. It's not time to send them to the government. It's not time to send them to public assistance. They've been given into a storehouse, and it is time for them to reap from the harvest of the storehouse that they've been given into. Ain't it crazy that people have been faithful to these churches, faithful to these pastors, faithful to these pastor anniversaries, faithful to all these pledges and New Year's givings and all of this stuff. And now that we're in a time of need and a government shutdown, we have these same pastors talking about we really got to pray. We really got to depend on the Lord. And then when you do want to help the people, you give them all this third degree, you give them all this paperwork and how much do you make and do you really have enough and do you really need it? But you don't put them through all that type of rigmarole when it's time to take their money, do you? Now, when it comes to the church helping the community, that's grace, that's mercy, that's benevolence. Because the truth of the matter is the community has not supported the church in decades. The community don't support the church. The community supports the weed man. The community supports the liquor store. The community supports the scratch offs and the Powerball. The community supports the beauty supply store. That's what the community supports. So when it comes to the greater community, we might do that by grace or by mercy or by benevolence. But when it comes to your church members, that's their right. Make sure in this time where the government is shut down or whatever the case may be, the church stands up for you. And if you're in need and you've been faithful to a ministry and they giving you all this rigmarole just to be helpful to you, go ahead and leave that place, because that's not a person who cares about your soul. People, it's time for the church to have faith and help the ones who've been faithful to the
right. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, are these churches better start shutting down? Because, yeah, I know y'all ain't got that money. Everybody just donated last Sunday, the Sunday before that, the Sunday before that. How y'all going to help y'all community? Because everybody been helping y'all for all these years. You know, so like the man said, when they need help, they're going to have to fill out all types of financial assessments. But when it's time to donate in that little bowl, it ain't nothing. Just throw your money in there, and if you don't, you feel bad. Like that man that just told that lady he wanted $2,000, not $1,600 or not $1,200 or whatever. You wouldn't have caught me giving him shit.
Where is Joel Osteen and all these other mega church people now that Snap is probably going to get turned off, or no, is going to get turned off due to the government shutdown? Don't you think that God's children deserve food? Also, just like, I'm not going to be mean or anything or disrespectful to anyone's religion, but the idea and concept of mega churches in America, and especially the ones that are tax-free, is really not good. We gotta be honest. Like, remember when someone found like a couple $1,000s in the bathroom of one of Joel Osteen's churches or office or some shit? Like, you got plenty of money. You're even using it for construction. Literally. Okay, so surely you can go buy some food and do a food drive and just give away food and shit like that to your community. But it's like, it's really disgusting how people have like capitalized off religion in such a way to people becoming millionaires and having private jets and luxury cars. But it's like, in times where it's like actually time to walk the walk, it's nowhere that, like, how do you want, like, it's one thing to just want to be a rich person and have your own religious beliefs, but it's like one thing to want to be like a famous person off of your beliefs, and then just when it's time to house people during a hurricane, you're nowhere to be found, or you're like not the first person to offer it up, but like, or when it's SNAP benefits, you're hush. It's like, do you actually care about people? Like, what's going on? Like, I feel like regardless of religious or political, I feel like one thing both of things have in common is that the root of your beliefs should be founded in like caring of people and humanity and the world. Like, empathy should be in both of those things. Like, it should be an overlap, and it really doesn't seem like it is for a lot of fucking people.
To all y'all pastors out there, let me tell y'all something. Y'all got a sermon for everything, okay? But you see, this Sunday that's coming, I need the sermon to be about how y'all gonna give back. Because them benefits ain't hitting, and all that money we gave you every Sunday was an investment. And we here to collect on that investment. And please miss me with the bullshit about, oh, you gave it to Jesus. I didn't give my money to Jesus. I gave it to you. Every time y'all asses need some shit, y'all come to us. But as soon as we need something, y'all send us to Jesus. I tell you what, though. You pass the collection plate in church this Sunday? Woo! We gonna see if you believe in what you believe in. Because there's gonna be some furniture moving in this motherfucker.
Where in the hell is all the church money when everybody need it? I'm just saying, my sister brought this up in a very good conversation earlier. She was saying, where the hell all the church money be going? Because think about it. People been going to church for years. And right now we got government shutdown. People losing their jobs. People getting kicked off Section 8. People getting their food stamps cut. Where's the money at from all the churches that y'all been paying all this time? And numbers don't lie, so let's use numbers. And I'm gonna do the church a favor, y'all. I'm gonna lowball the hell out these numbers, all right? So, say you got one church, just one of them. Got 100 members. Each member pays $100 a month, which is a lowball ass number for church, because you got people spending thousands in church, cashing out. So if 100 people donate $100 to the church, that's about $10,000 a month. $120,000 a year at one church. That's just one of them. You got churches on every few blocks. Where's the money at? And they tax exempt. They don't have to pay taxes. It's a business, but that's a different conversation. Where the money going? Y'all shouldn't have to be worrying like y'all are, especially for this almighty God that everybody talk about that's so good. Won't he do it? He can have his son turn water to wine and feed whole villages and shit. What y'all worried for? You ain't got to vote. The Bible tell you not to rely on men. You supposed to rely on God. So don't blame it on Trump, the government. Just pray to God and make sure he can feed everybody so y'all ain't have to panic. Where the church money at? I know where it's at. Do y'all know where it's at? The pastor got it. He got rich off of it because church is a business. Side note, God don't have no bills. What God need money for?
Y'all got to forgive me because my intrusive thoughts are horrible. And this is just so bad because this man has changed his ways and he is a better man for it. But I cannot help that every time I see Jamal Bryant, all I can think of is Pastor Holy Whore. And Monique is absolutely to blame for that. But anyway, we're going to get into the story. Jamal Bryant is doing some big things because God decided, or he decided to listen to what God was telling him. He said while he was on a plane, God spoke to him and told him that instead of receiving tithes that Sunday, that particular Sunday, I think it was last Sunday, God told him to tell his people to bring food into the storehouse to give to needy families that are losing their benefits as far as food stamps and losing their jobs. He said that 300,000 black women have lost their jobs since March, and 443 million people have lost their government assistance. So God spoke to him and said, it did not sit well with him. And yeah, he was a little shady. He said it did not sit well with him to tell his congregation to bring a sacrificial offering of $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 when people are struggling today. People have lost their jobs. People are about to lose their food stamps come November 1st. And I just appreciate him for listening to God, one, and having a heart for God's people.
So remember that Bible verse a lot of pastors like to quote when it's time for offerings and tithes. Yeah, that one. It actually has two parts. The first part is all about giving, bring all your tithes into the storehouse so that there may be food in my house. But let's pause right there for a second, because that part isn't just about pastors buying luxury cars, private jets, or designer suits. It's about preparing for the times like this, moments of real need when the church is supposed to, give back. When it's time to take care of the very people who have been faithfully giving all along. And I have to say, Cat Williams, the Cat Williams did mention that 2025 would be a year of exposure in so many ways. Maybe this is one of them. Maybe the church is about to be exposed to, not every church though, of course, but a lot of them are about to show who they truly are, especially when it comes to showing up for their members in hard times. Now, as many of you already know, EBT has been temporarily suspended, allegedly, and the allegedly here isn't about whether it's suspended, it's about how temporarily that suspension really is, because let's be real, for many families, that temporarily break feels like the rug being pulled from under their feet. People are struggling. Groceries are expensive, rent is due, kids still need to eat. You'd think that in times like this, the church, the same institution that preaches about love, giving, and compassion, would be the first to step in. You'd think this would be the moment pastors rise up and say, don't worry, we got you. After all, isn't that what the storehouse was for? Isn't that what all of these offerings and tithes were meant to support? The people, the community, the very foundation of the faith. But so far, silence. Maybe some are speaking out. I didn't just ahead of it yet, but from what I've seen online, it's been pretty quiet. Ironically, I've actually seen reports about satanic churches stepping in to offer food and help to people, and I can't lie, that says a lot. It's making a lot of believers pause and ask the hard question: where are the pastors now? Where are the Christians who always talk about being the hands and feet of God? Because this right here is when the world is watching. This is when people who would have lost in the faith, in the system, in religion, in leadership are looking for hope. And if the church misses this opportunity to serve, to show real compassion, then I don't know what to tell you. We're going to, keep watching how this unfolds. But I want you guys to drop your thoughts in the comment section down below, because it's starting to look like the exposure Kate Williams talked about might be knocking right at the church door. Let's continue watching some of the TikTok reactions people are having about this whole situation. I'll come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents.
The gag isn't that the mega churches won't be offering like any type of like assistance or like handing out any type of like food subsidies for like the people in need. The real gag is they will still be asking for money, still asking for tithes and offerings. That's the real gag. Churches are greedy businesses. I remember when COVID hit and people weren't able to work, so basically like they didn't have like any type of like income. We both know those stimulus checks really didn't do anything for a lot of people that had like children and other stuff to pay for. But I remember when COVID hit, those mega churches were not only not helping their communities that paid their bills, some of them were asking their congregations to triple their tithes and offerings. And Christians, being the brainwashed people that they are, and churches preying on them, especially the poor ones, they gave everything they had and received nothing in return. Like, it's extremely unfortunate, but it's a tale as old as time. It's like I grew up in a very small Baptist church, and although I'm no longer Christian and follow that lifestyle, that church that I grew up in would absolutely fucking never expect anything from the congregation while people are losing their fucking SNAP benefits. But those fucking mega churches, entitled.
I haven't seen these mega churches not say one damn thing about feeding folks. And they got a private jet and a Ferrari to match that shit. No. Miss me with that shit. That's why I don't give to none of these places. Understand that God is in your house. I got God in my crib. No. And they're talking about, it's a big church, it's a big church. That's more of the reason too. You got some places that charge over $100 for a seat. That's crazy. And giving out some bread and some eggs and some potatoes is too much for them. It's a scam. These mega churches, it's a scam. And understand what you're giving to when you give to these places faithfully. Understand what you're giving to when you give to these places faithfully. And understand that they're using your money to put gas in their Bentley. Understand that they're using your money to put a down payment on a villa in Thailand.
If SNAP benefits do not go out in November, and you attend a church that you've been tithing to and been giving money to for years, and they are not out in the community donating to the community and ensuring the families are eating, including the families in their own pews, right? And then the families outside in the community, if you're a part of a church and they don't immediately have a plan for what's in place when November 1st hits and people don't get their food stamps, then you need to leave that church. They're not using their money for what God intended. God intended for the church's money to go to those who don't have enough and to supporting his community and making sure that you can spread the word. And those things cannot happen if you do not donate to your community. So if your pastor or preacher or whoever he is has a Lamborghini and a mansion, and they also cannot afford to feed the hungry in their own congregation, you need to leave your church. Because listen, people might have a lot of feelings about the LDS church and this and that. The LDS church saved me and my kids, okay? And the LDS church gives so much money, and they have a lot saved. I'm not saying that they are perfect. I'm not saying that they're the perfect stewards of money, but I am saying that the LDS church gives so much, and they have their own food banks, and they donate so much food to local food banks. They're always in service, and I take comfort in that. Okay, but if you are attending a church and November 1st, they do not have something planned, they do not immediately make an announcement to help those families who did not get their benefits on November 1st, you're in the wrong place, and Jesus would flip that.
I know some of you not gonna like this, but where the fuck is the pastors at right now? Where's the bishops? Where are the chief priests, the apostles? Where are they right now? Where are they? Now the community needs you guys. There's getting ready to be thousands upon thousands that will not be able to feed their children. Why aren't the churches open? Why aren't the kitchens in the churches open? Why? Where y'all at, pastors, bishops, apostles, chief priests? What are y'all doing about tomorrow? Yeah, what are y'all gonna do about tomorrow? The saddest part about it is, you will tell the people that they need to pray about their shit, but you will come right back and ask for their tithes and their offerings. Just go a little deeper. Just give a little more. Man, no. You go pray about it. You go pray about the church's rent. Cause why? The shit don't make sense. Where the fuck y'all at now? That's why nobody ain't in church.
And now that we've seen everything that's been going on, I think it's time that we have, some really real conversations about this, because if there was ever a moment for churches to truly show up, it's now. According to the book of Malachi, this isn't just my opinion on or something I am pulling out of thin air. The Bible itself says, bring ye all the tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. That verse wasn't just about Sunday collections or building bigger auditoriums. It was about preparation, making sure that in hard times like this, there's plenty in the storehouse to take care of those who've, been fully giving all along. And let's be honest, people have been giving, they've been giving their tithes, their offerings, their time, their faith. They've trusted the system. But now with EBT being temporarily suspended, and that temporary part still sounding, a little questionable, because people are struggling, families are hungry, mothers are worried, fathers are stressed. And if there was ever a time for the church to open those storehouses, doors, and give back, this is it. This is a time to live out of what's being preached every day. This is a time to prove that the message isn't just talk, that this is action. This is about action, compassion, and accountability. Because what is a storehouse if the shelves are full but the people outside are starving? What good is faith without works when your own community is crying out for help? And I already know how this is going to go for some churches, some pastors. Not all, but some are going to see this moment as an opportunity to push people even harder to give more. They'll turn this crisis into another test of faith. They'll stand on stage and say, now more than ever, you need to trust God with your giving. I've been there before, so I know what I'm saying. I know exactly how manipulation works. It starts with guilt, then it turns into fear, and before you know it, people are giving from desperation instead of devotion. And I can already hear the sermon references. They'll go to the story of Job. Oh, Job lost everything, but God restored him even more. And yes, that's true, but not everything is a job season. That story wasn't meant to be a financial playbook for squeezing more out of struggling believers. Sometimes pastors forget that seasons and timing matters. You can't preach about abundance when your people are starving. You can't talk about restoration when the flock is barely surviving. And again, this isn't to bash every pastor. There are still good ones out there who care deeply, who are out in the community feeding the hungry and being present. But for a lot of others, this right here is going to expose their true intentions, because it's easy to preach about faith with the church bank account is full. It's easy to talk about blessings when the offering plate is heavy, but when the world starts shaking and the people who built that foundation start crying out, that's when you see who really understands ministry. So yes, this is the moment the church needs to step up, not with words, with actions, big actions. This is a time to prove that the storehouse wasn't just symbolic, that the giving wasn't in vain. Because if the Bible says there should be plenty in the storehouse, then where is it now? Where are the resources that were supposed to help the people? I think what we're seeing is a start of what's his name? Cat Williams talked about, the one he said would define 2025. Maybe it's happening right now before our eyes. Maybe the truth about who's been giving and who's been taking is finally coming to light. But anyway, that's my take on this. You guys, let me know what you think about this, all of this, in the comment section down below. Do you agree that this is the time churches should finally show up and give back to the people who've been faithfully giving for years? I don't know. That shouldn't even be a question. It shouldn't even be up for discussion, you know? Or do you think the system has been broken for too long to even expect that kind of support anymore? Because honestly, this right here, this isn't just a conversation about religion. It's about responsibility. It's about humanity. And it's about being real enough to admit that some things just don't add up anymore. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, for staying up to this time. Please go ahead, subscribe to this channel if you're here for the first time. I will definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.